There are 6 pieces of equipment in the radio studios you'll be using. 2 CD players for playing music, a microphone for talking, a CD recorder for recording practice sessions, a computer with a Pro Tools system for recording your actual air check, and an audio mixer. All of these pieces of equipment, except the mixer, are known as audio sources. The audio mixer is the most important piece of equipment in any radio studio. Since most students have never worked with one before, it will be the focus of this video. Mixers are actually very easy to understand if you don't overcomplicate them in your mind. First, there is a separate slider control for each piece of equipment, and in our case, one for the mic, one for each CD player, one for the CD burner, and one for the computer hosting Pro Tools. These sliders are called faders or pots, and each pot controls the volume of one sound source through the mixer. The mixer actually has 10 channels, so in theory it could handle up to 10 sound sources. When you want a sound source to go over the air, you simply turn it on by pushing the button below the fader and then push the fader up. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. By the way, it's on when the button lights up red. So, for example, if you wanted to talk, you would turn on the channel labeled mic, turn up the fader, and start talking. If you wanted the audience to hear music on CD player 1, you would turn on the channel labeled CD1 and push the fader up. Same for CD2. Just turn on the channel labeled CD2 and push that fader up. So anything you want to hear, you turn it on and you turn it up. The basic operating principle is quite simple. However, in practice it gets a little more complicated because you have to deal with more than one audio source at a time, but we'll cover that later. First, let's understand the other controls on the mixer. There are 2 small knobs at the top. One labeled earphone and one labeled monitor. Again, very simple to understand. Monitor controls the volume of the monitor speakers, which allow you to hear what's going out of the mixer. Earphone controls the volume of the headphones. These 2 controls only control the volume of the speakers and the headphones respectively, so you can turn them up or down anytime you want. They have no impact on how loud you're recording at or how loud things are going out to the audience. There is also a small row of push buttons. There's no need to get into heavy theory about what the buttons do, but you do need to know one thing, and this is critically important. The PGM button must be pushed in. If it isn't, the mixer won't operate the way it was intended to for this assignment. Again, the PGM button must be pushed in. Finally, there are the VU meters. The VU meters display the loudness levels of the signals going through the mixer. The full scope of how to read the VU meters will be covered in another video. For now, suffice to say that you usually want the VU meters peaking in the lower end of the red zone. So, that's the mixer. People usually find it easy to understand, especially after working with it for a little bit. Actually using it, however, is often a bit more complicated because you are often using more than one audio source simultaneously. Let's say you wanted to talk. Simple. Turn on the mic channel, turn up the fader, and talk. Good morning, this is KXCV KRNW, the weather for the area. But now let's make it a bit more complicated. Let's say you wanted to talk over the intro of a song that is going to play on CD1. Remember, you're going to talk over the intro, so both your voice and the music will be going at the same time. First, you'd want to have the CD already queued up on the CD player. On the mixer, you'd want to have the CD1 channel turned on and the fader turned up. You'd also want to have the mic channel turned on, but leave the fader down until you're ready to talk so it doesn't pick up noises in the studio, such as you moving around, clearing your throat, etc. When you're ready to go, start playing the CD. Then, turn up the fader on the mic channel and start talking. X106, this is Rockin' Maddie at 20 minutes after the hour. Your chance to win a brand new Nissan Altima. It's a beautiful car, folks. That's going to be coming up at the top of the hour. And we'll have news, weather, and sports as well. Right now, we've got something from Tabla Ross's second album. This one is called Heyday on X106. When you're done talking, you'll probably need to fade the CD a little higher and turn the mic channel down, and then turn it off. Now let's go a step further and do what is probably the most complicated thing you'll have to do for this assignment: talking over the end of one song and continuing to talk over the beginning of the next one. For the most part, it's similar to what we just did. Have the channel of the CD player you're about to use turned on and the fader turned up. And have the mic turned on, but the fader turned down, just like last time. Then, when the one song is ending, start talking over the end of it, and when it is completely ended, pull that fader all the way down. Start the next CD, continue to talk, and when you are done talking, push the level of the CD up a little more. Then pull down the mic fader and turn the mic channel off. X106, that is a classic from Iggy and the Stooges from the Funhouse album. It's hard to believe that album is actually 41 years old, but it is. The weather for the area is going to be cloudy with a 40% chance of rain and a high of 82. Tonight, clearing up, low of 61 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be sunny and pleasant with a high of 78. Right now, we got a little bit of drizzle on the outside and 74 degrees. I'm going to keep things going here with another classic. This one is from Hybrid Theory, which was Linkin Park's first album. And, of course, this one is Paper Cut on X106. And then you start getting ready to play your next song. That's what disc jockeys do. That's a little more complicated, but again, you'll get all of this stuff with a little practice.